Welcome to Real English Podcast. I'm Brendy.
And I'm Annie.
Please like, subscribe, and share with friends for the Real English Podcast. It might feel fast, but that's just how Americans talk. You'll hear it again later, so no pressure.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And, we want to take a moment right now before we do anything else. Just pause.
Yeah, just stop for a second.
Wherever you are listening to this, whether you are walking to the bus, driving in your car, or just sitting in your kitchen, take a deep breath with us. Breathe in slowly.
And breathe out.
Take a moment to just settle your body.
We know you might have had a very, very long week. Maybe it was incredibly busy at your job.
Right.
You probably feel physically and mentally tired right now. We know that work can be very demanding. You might have family to take care of, children to feed, or parents to help.
There's so much daily life stress that we all carry on our shoulders.
Absolutely.
And it is completely normal to feel the weight of that stress, especially when you are, learning a new language on top of everything else. Translating words in your head all day long takes a massive amount of mental energy. But you are here now. Take another deep breath. You made it through the week.
Yes, you did. And that is already enough.
I want to say that again, because as adults, we rarely hear it. You made it through the week. That is already enough.
It really is.
So today, the mission of our deep dive is very different. We're not going to teach you about doing more.
Right, no extra work today.
Exactly. We are not talking about hustling, working harder, or being more productive.
Instead, we are exploring a vital topic. We call it the art of doing nothing.
I love that title.
We are going to provide you with the practical, everyday English vocabulary you need to express the feeling of total exhaustion. But more importantly, we are going to explore the psychology behind rest.
Exactly. In fact, today we're going to show you why lying on your sofa, staring at the ceiling and doing absolutely nothing might actually be the most effective way to become fluent in English.
Which, it sounds completely counterintuitive, right? We are taught that to learn, we must constantly study. But the science of memory tells a very different story. To understand that, though, we first need to unpack this heavy feeling of Friday fatigue.
When the week is finally over, how do we accurately describe this physical and mental weight in everyday English?
Well, we have several powerful phrases in English for this.
Yeah.
You will often hear native speakers say they feel exhausted, or they might say they're burnt out.
Burnt out. I use that one all the time.
It's a very descriptive phrase. To understand the mechanism behind it, think of a bright, warm campfire.
Okay, picture a campfire.
Right. To create that fire, you have to gather wood, you spark the flame, and the fire gives off heat. It gives off light to everyone sitting around it.
Yeah.
But after a long night, the wood is entirely consumed. The fuel is gone. There is no more fire, only cold, gray ashes.
And what makes that metaphor so accurate for human psychology is the permanence of it. You cannot just light cold ashes on fire again.
No, it does not work.
When you are burnt out, it means you gave all your warmth and energy to your job, your studies, or your family until you have zero fuel left.
Exactly.
To fix it, you cannot just spark a match. You have to slowly go out, find new wood, and rebuild the structure. It takes significant time.
That is precisely how emotional depletion works. It is not just physical tiredness, it is a total lack of internal resources. Which leads us to another highly common English phrase you need to know. The phrase is, I am wiped out.
Let's break that down. I am wiped out. Where does this image come from, and how does it explain our mental state on a Friday afternoon?
So think about a large blank whiteboard in a university classroom. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the board is bright white and clean.
A fresh start.
Right. But all day long, the professor writes on it with heavy markers. Red ink for urgent tasks, blue ink for language learning, black ink for daily stress and financial worries.
I can picture it getting really messy.
By 5 o'clock, the board is completely covered in chaotic ink. There is no empty space left to write a single new thought.
I feel like my brain is exactly like that board by the end of the week, just covered in chaotic scribbles.
Exactly. That is what psychologists call cognitive load. Your working memory is full. So what has to happen?
Someone has to clean it.
Yes. Someone takes a heavy eraser and wipes the board completely clean. When you say, I am wiped out, it means your mental energy has been entirely erased. You are a blank board. You cannot process one more piece of information.
Let's anchor this phrase in your physical memory. We're going to practice saying it. I want you to try saying it out loud right now and pay attention to how your shoulders physically drop when you release the air. Repeat after me. I am wiped out.
Take a breath and let it out.
Notice how heavy the word wiped feels. Let's try it one more time. Allow your jaw to completely relax as you speak. Repeat after me. I am wiped out.
That feels incredibly satisfying to say out loud.
It really does. It is honest. So if our internal whiteboard is erased, what is the next step? What is another way we express this state in everyday English?
Another fantastic modern phrase is, I need to recharge.
Okay, I understand the direct comparison here. It is just like a phone battery.
Exactly like a phone battery.
We all know that sudden feeling of panic when we look at our smartphone and see the battery icon turn from green to red. It drops to 5%, then 1%. You frantically search for a charging cable.
Oh, that panic is real.
The screen gets dark, the apps open slowly, and finally, the phone just shuts off. A smartphone physically cannot function at 0%.
And human beings operate on the exact same biological mechanism. You cannot function if your internal battery is empty. You must stop outputting energy, plug yourself into a source of rest, and recharge.
But here is where I genuinely struggle with this concept.
Oh, how so?
Well, if my phone is at 1%, I plug it into the wall immediately. I do not debate it. But when I am at 1%, my brain actively fights against resting.
That is so true.
I sit on the sofa, and suddenly I feel this intense panic that I absolutely must wash the dishes, or I must check my work email, or I must organize the hall closet. Why do we resist our own charger?
That is a brilliant question. The reason we resist the charger is rooted in our biology. When you are running at 1% energy, your body actually enters a state of stress.
Really? Stress from being tired?
Yes. Your brain thinks, we're out of resources, this is an emergency. It releases stress hormones like cortisol. Those hormones make you feel agitated. You nervously organize your closet because your body is in a state of fight or flight, trying to survive the exhaustion.
Wow. So trying to clean the house when I am exhausted is actually just a biological panic attack. That makes so much sense.
It really does explain a lot.
Let's practice acknowledging that we need to plug in. Say this phrase smoothly, recognizing that it is a biological necessity. Repeat after me. I need to recharge.
Just let the words ground you.
Say it again, claiming it as a simple fact. Repeat after me. I need to recharge.
Perfect. Now, understanding the biology is helpful, but there's also a massive psychological barrier we face. It is the feeling of guilt.
Ah, the guilt is so heavy.
Admitting we are wiped out often feels like a personal failure, like we're just not strong enough to handle modern life.
Right.
And what is fascinating here is how we wait for external validation to fix that guilt. We wait for a boss at work or a teacher in a classroom to look at us and say, you have worked hard enough, you can stop now.
That's true. We constantly wait for someone in authority to give us permission to rest.
Exactly.
But on a Friday evening, there is no boss in your living room. There is no teacher grading your life. You are the only authority in the room. You have to be the one to plug the cable in.
Which brings us to the most vital phrase of this deep dive. It is a phrase you must learn to say to yourself. I give myself permission to rest.
Permission.
Right. In English, permission means officially allowing someone to do something. You are officially allowing your mind and body to stop.
Let's practice this mental shift. I want you to say this out loud with absolute authority, as if you are the boss giving an order to your own mind. Repeat after me. I give myself permission to rest.
Take a gentle breath in.
Try it once more. This time, notice how it feels to stop waiting for someone else to say it. Repeat after me. I give myself permission to rest.
That is a beautiful phrase to keep in your pocket.
So, now that we understand the deep mechanics behind these vocabulary words, we want to show you exactly how they function in a natural, everyday context.
We are going to do a short, realistic role play to demonstrate this. We will use our names, Brendy and Annie, just for this specific story.
Imagine it is late Friday afternoon. Two friends are talking on the phone about the upcoming weekend. Listen closely for the vocabulary we just practiced, and notice the tone of the conversation.
Ready?
Hey, Annie. The week is finally over. Do you have big weekend plans?
Honestly, Brendy, no. I'm totally wiped out. This week was intensely busy.
Oh, I completely understand. Are you going to go out or see friends at all?
Not this time. I think I'm going to practice the art of doing nothing. I'm just going to sit on my sofa and relax.
That sounds perfect. You really need to recharge.
Exactly. I'm giving myself permission to just be still. What about you?
I think I'll do the exact same thing. Maybe make a warm cup of tea and put on some quiet music. No shoulds this weekend.
I love that. No shoulds, just peace.
I love that response from Annie in our story. Notice that she did not apologize for staying home.
No apologies needed.
Let's look at why that simple phrase, no shoulds, is actually incredibly difficult for most of us to apply in real life.
It is difficult because of the intense social expectations around the weekend. In America and in many cultures, asking, "Do you have big weekend plans?" is a standard Friday greeting.
Yeah, you hear it everywhere.
Society expects an exciting, productive answer. We are expected to say we are going to a new restaurant, traveling, or attending a party.
Right. And when we return to work on Monday, people ask, what did you do this weekend? If you say I did absolutely nothing, people sometimes look at you like you failed, like you wasted your time.
And that concept of wasting time brings us directly to the philosophy behind our deep dive today. Why does the word should cause so much guilt? To understand this, we have to look briefly at history, specifically the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, let's unpack this. How do factories from 200 years ago affect my anxiety on a Friday night today?
Well, before the Industrial Revolution, human beings lived by the natural rhythms of the sun and the seasons. When it got dark, you rested. When it was winter, you slowed down.
That sounds peaceful.
But then we invented factories. Factories introduced the mechanical clock. Suddenly, time equaled money. If you were not actively producing goods on the assembly line, you were wasting time.
Wow.
We took that factory mindset and internalized it. We began to treat our own bodies and minds like mechanical machines that must always be producing.
That is a massive insight. We treat ourselves like machines. Think about your own internal dialogue. How often do you tell yourself, I should study English, or I should clean the kitchen, or I should be exercising?
The word should is a psychological weapon we use against ourselves. When you say I should, it implies that whatever you are doing in this exact moment is wrong.
Like you're broken.
Right. You are demanding more production from your internal factory. And that demand creates heavy, uncomfortable guilt.
So how do we shut down the factory? How do we shift our perspective and drop that heavy weight of guilt?
We have to actively change the grammar of our thoughts. Instead of saying, I should be productive, we must change the sentence to, I am doing enough.
I am doing enough. It brings you completely back to the present moment.
Exactly.
Let's practice this shift. Say it out loud and try to believe the words. Repeat after me, I am doing enough.
Let the guilt just drift away.
Let's try it again. Turn off the internal clock. Repeat after me, I am doing enough.
Here is where the philosophy gets truly profound. One of the core insights from our sources today is the vital difference between the concept of being and the concept of doing.
Okay.
In English, the biological classification for our species is human beings.
Right. Human beings. We are not human doings.
Exactly. A human doing would mean your only value in this world comes from the tasks you finish, from the emails you send, the money you make, or the grammar tests you pass.
But a human being means your inherent value comes simply from your existence. Imagine a house cat sleeping in a patch of warm sunlight on the floor.
I love that image.
That cat is not lying there worrying about its lack of productivity. It is not feeling guilty about the mice it didn't catch. It is just perfectly being a cat.
That is exactly right. Doing nothing is not a waste of time. It is fundamental self-care. It is perfectly acceptable to just exist in a space.
You don't have to earn it.
No, you don't. You can sit in a chair by a window and simply watch the clouds shift in the sky. You can smell a favorite scent like fresh jasmine or coffee beans. You can just sit quietly, feel the physical weight of your body in the chair, and breathe.
We're allowed to step off the fast, mechanical train of modern life. Let's practice another comforting phrase to remind ourselves of this right. Repeat after me. It is okay to slow down.
Just give yourself some grace.
Speak the words calmly to yourself. Repeat after me. It is okay to slow down.
Now, philosophically, we understand why it is okay to rest, but practically, it can still be difficult.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I sit on the sofa, my body is completely still, but my brain is still running at 100 miles an hour. It stays stuck in work mode.
Yes, the brain can be incredibly stubborn. It worries about the future to protect you. We need a practical, neurological tool to help the brain transition from that high-stress work mode into a regulated peace mode.
And one of the most effective tools for this is a mantra.
A mantra is a simple, positive phrase that you repeat sequentially. It acts as an anchor, gently pulling your mind away from racing thoughts and bringing it back to a quiet, controlled state.
We are going to guide you through 3 simple English mantras right now.
We will speak these very slowly and deliberately. You can repeat these out loud to practice your English pronunciation, or you can just say them quietly in your mind to calm your nervous system.
Here is the first mantra. This phrase acknowledges your hard work and allows you to firmly close the door on the past week. Repeat after me. I did my best this week.
Just breathe normally.
Let's say it again. Acknowledge your effort. Repeat after me. I did my best this week.
Here is the second mantra. This one is about physically releasing the tension you are holding in your muscles. Repeat after me. I am letting go of my stress.
Unclench your hands if you need to.
Feel your jaw and your shoulders completely relax as you say it. Repeat after me. I am letting go of my stress.
And the final mantra. This phrase sets a firm, protective boundary around your weekend. Repeat after me. Today, doing nothing is my priority.
That's a great one.
Claim your absolute right to rest. Repeat after me.
Today, doing nothing is my priority.
Repeating these simple English phrases can genuinely alter your heart rate and calm your nervous system.
And that reveals a much bigger picture about why we learn languages. We often treat English purely as a utilitarian tool. We learn it to negotiate with native speakers, to secure a better job, or to navigate foreign airports.
But English is also a deeply personal tool to understand and soothe yourself. Using your second language to comfort your own mind is an incredible level of fluency. As we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to return to that counterintuitive idea I mentioned at the very beginning. Think about Monday morning.
It always comes around.
It does. The new week will inevitably arrive. But consider this. How does intentionally practicing 30 minutes of the art of doing nothing, literally just staring at the ceiling, actually make you a better English learner?
It comes down to neuroscience. When you study English vocabulary, those new words sit in your short-term memory. They're very fragile there.
Right. They can just disappear.
But when you do absolutely nothing, no phone, no podcasts, no reading, your brain activates a special system called the default mode network. We can call it the background brain.
The background brain.
Yes. When the background brain turns on, it literally replays the English words you learned earlier in the week and permanently moves them into your long-term memory.
That is mind-blowing. So when I am doing nothing, my brain is actually doing the heavy lifting of language learning in the background.
Precisely. If you never stop taking in new information, your brain never gets the quiet time it needs to save the files. When you truly rest, your mind solidifies your learning.
So resting does not pause your progress. Doing nothing actively makes you a stronger, sharper, and faster learner when Monday morning finally arrives.
That's exactly it.
You do not need to earn your rest by finishing a massive to-do list. Rest is your biological requirement, and it is your absolute right.
We want to sincerely praise you for the courage and effort you put into learning every single day. Whether you memorized 50 new English words this week, or if you simply learned one single word today, you are moving forward.
You're doing a phenomenal job.
Always remember, your worth is not measured by your productivity. You are so much more than your to-do lists.
You are more than your job title, your daily family responsibilities, or your language grades. You are a human being, and you deserve profound peace.
Please keep this truth in your mind over the weekend. And remember to like, subscribe, and share the Real English podcast with friends who might also be running at 1% and need some rest right now.
Happy Friday, everyone. Go out there and do absolutely nothing. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And if you want to review today's lesson, I uploaded a free PDF summary in the description and in the comments. Feel free to download it and study at your own pace.